Hi, welcome back to Therapy Designs. If you're new to this channel, my name is Kelly and this channel is all about creating print-on-demand designs using Canva. So if that is something that you're interested in, please do stick around. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to create this design right here. This is actually a super easy one. I got the graphic from Creative Fabrica. I did some erasing of the graphic, put in my own text, and pretty much came up with this. It's a really fast, easy one if you're curious how you can go ahead and get this sort of retro style fall design. I also wanted to say in terms of this mock-up, I made the mock-up myself, more or less. What I did is I downloaded a blank t-shirt mock-up from Etsy. The reason I did that is because if you're selling on Etsy, you may be selling a very specific brand of t-shirts. So for example, I am selling a Gildan shirt, and so this mock-up is of a Gildan shirt. That way you can actually represent the shirt that you're selling and not just throw, a shirt that maybe has one cut up and then you're selling a shirt with a different style cut. So you do want to be able to represent yourself accurately. And so what I do on my Etsy shop is I use a general mock-up like this that has the shirt that I'm selling, and then you can fluff up the mock-up by adding little details here and there. I put a little pumpkin in the corner and I put the little leaf in the other corner just to give it more of a little bit of a fall look. And then this would be an example of a mock-up that I would use on my Etsy shop. Obviously, if you're downloading this and you're putting it on something like Amazon Merch on Demand, you don't really get to pick your mock-ups. But if you are selling on a different site where you're selecting mock-ups to use, it's always good to make your own, and it's always good to have them representative of the exact product that it is that you're selling. Also, comment on mock-ups. You do need it to be nice and big. You want it to be easily read from a distance. And one thing that I've noticed on some Etsy shops is a tendency for some people to angle the shirt more than is necessary. If you've got the shirt at an extreme angle, it becomes a little bit tougher to read the font without having to turn your head. And when people are scrolling very, very quickly, you want yours to be able to be seen and easily read, just like that. You don't want people to have to pause or turn or squint or anything like that. So, the clearer and the bigger you can make it, the better it is in terms of mock-ups. And so that was just my little caveat there on mock-ups. And if you have questions about mock-ups, you can throw that in the comment section below. So anyways, if you're interested in learning how to create this design very fast, very easy, go ahead and stick around. So here we are on Canva's home page. As usual, we're going to start off with a custom size. So I'm going to go to the right-hand corner where it says custom size. I can click that, and I'm going to be selecting 4500 by 5400 pixels. And so we'll just click that and it'll pull up a blank page. Perfect. Now, once we get our blank page up, I do like to design for black. This is because black t-shirts are the #1 selling color. So if I'm going to optimize for any color, it's going to be black. So I'm just going to click on my blank canvas here, go to the top left-hand corner where it says background color. And from here, I'm just going to go ahead and select black for my background color. Now in today's video, we're going to be doing a fall style design, a very retro fall style design, and it is going to say cozy season. And I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to use a graphic that I get from Creative Fabrica. Now you can use any graphic that you like, but I'm going to show you how you can alter a graphic, and you can do it again with any graphic you like, but one that we get from Creative Fabrica. So right now I'm just going to jump over to my Creative Fabrica page. I'm right here. And there's all sorts of ways that you can search. You can, of course, just hit POD and it will come up with the POD graphics, and they're listed in terms of the most popular. That being said, if you pick ones off the front page, you can pretty much guarantee everybody has picked the ones off the front page because those are going to be the trendiest. But I'm going to search for one, and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to put retro fall and see what comes up. So I can search there. And it's going to pull up a bunch of different, fall style designs that are kind of more retro styled. And so you can see the type of design that I'm looking at right here. And now a lot of these are really great. They lend themselves well to editing. So this one, for example, you can always take this, delete the text, put your own text, and just use the graphics. And so that is something that I'm going to be doing, something very similar to that. But let's see if I can find the one I want. I think it was when one of these groups here. Okay, here we go. It was actually this one. So this one has a whole lot of different retro fall designs. So I'm just going to click here. And you can see there's a ton of them. The one I'm specifically interested is the one at the top here that has the pumpkin and the fall leaf. It says cozy season. I'm going to reproduce this design, but I'm going to use my own text and kind of make it a little bit more my own. So I'm just going to go ahead and download this. So if I just click download here, it will download all of these as a zip file. Now you will need to open that zip file and then go ahead and select which ones you like to drag into your download section. And so that's how you go ahead and do that. Once you've got it downloaded, you can just jump right back over to Canva. And so now I'm back on my Canva page. And to upload a design that you've downloaded, all you have to do is go to the left-hand side where you see all these tabs. If you hit upload, it will pull up your uploads and you can click upload file. That will pull up your downloads, and then from there you can select what you just downloaded off of Creative Fabrica. Okay, so there it is. It's downloaded now, so I can just click that. It'll bring it over to my page. I can close this, and now I've got that design. Now, these are listed for, POD sales, so you could theoretically go ahead and put this up on a shirt as is. However, you can pretty much imagine that a lot of other people have done the same thing, and if you want your design to be different and stand out, you're going to have to make some changes. So one of the changes that I want to make is changing the font here. So I like the graphic, but I'm not a big fan of the font. Now, one way I can do that is just going to be to delete any areas of font and then add in my own. So now that I have my graphic here, I can come up to the top left-hand side of the page where it says edit image. I can go ahead and click on that. Now let's see, right now I'm on the old editor. The best way to do this would be on the new editor, but you can pretty much do it either way if you do a background removal. So here, if I do background removal, I can do it this way too. If I'm on the new editor, let me go ahead and check out the new editor and I'll show you. You can use background remover again and use your magic eraser feature. So you can do it this way or you can do it this way. So let's say I was to click on just magic erase. So this is just going to allow me to erase without worrying about removing a background. So I can select my brush size here, and all I'm going to do is go ahead and highlight over everything I want to delete, which is going to be all of the text. I might even get rid of some of those darker little diamonds, just because if I'm putting it on a dark shirt, the diamonds won't show up. Now I can of course replace those with my own diamonds, lighter color diamonds. And so anything that you don't want, you can easily replace. There you go. So it does take a second, but you can see it deleted all of that. Now I'm going to come down, I'm going to do the bottom, and every time I kind of let go of my mouse, it will delete that section. So it does take a minute to delete everything. So depending on how much you're deleting, it may take you a little bit of time, especially if you're having to get multiple areas and, take your finger off the mouse there. Perfect. And now I want to get some of these smaller areas. I'm going to change my brush size here just because I don't want it to be too big. I'm going to have to clean up this area here, so I didn't quite get all of it. So I'm going to get right there. And this is where it might take a while because I'm going to have to do these one at a time. So it's going to take a sec to do all of these. So bear with me, but I'm just going to go right over the top and click. And I'm going to do that for every one of these. There we go. And so once you have it the way you want, you can go back to the page. If you do make a mistake and accidentally, erase part that you want, there is a little button right here that says reset erasings, but that may reset everything, in which case you'd have to start all over. If you want to avoid that, you can do the background remover, and the background remover will have an erase tool and a restore tool so that you can just click restore and restore just the area you want. And so that may be a little bit easier for you. But anyways, once you have the way you want, you're going to go back to your original page. And so there it is. Now you can see my design with no text. And so now I can go ahead and just add my own text. Now I can put anything I want in terms of text. I do like what they had there, which was cozy season. So I'll probably just go ahead and stick with that. I did trademark check that to make sure it was safe. Just because it's on Creative Fabrica does not mean that it's not trademarked, and that does not mean that it is safe to put up. So always, no matter what, do your own trademark checks just to make sure that everything is okay before you upload it. On that note, I was told, or I did find out a little bit after, that one of the designs that I put up last week, the in October we wear pink, is trademarked pending. So there's a lot of different ways that you can just change up the words of that design to be safe. So instead of in October we wear pink, you could put in October I wear pink. Or you could expand upon it and say in October we wear pink for breast cancer awareness. Or you could change it up entirely, put something like "'tis the season to wear pink" or "'tis the season we wear pink." So there's lots of different ways that you can kind of reword it to make sure that it is safe, okay? So that was my caveat there on checking your trademarks. Now I'm gonna go ahead and pull up a couple text boxes. So I'm gonna do it pretty similar to what they had before. So I'm just gonna hit T on my keyboard. That will pull up a text box. And on the top, I'm just gonna go ahead and put cozy. Cozy. And I'm gonna make that a little bit bigger. Now I'm gonna have to change the color of this, obviously, so that you guys can see it. So I can click here, come up to the top where it says text color, and then I can select any color I want. I can pick from the colors in the photos, and so that is sometimes really convenient to do. I can change it, but for now I'll just do that so that I can see it real easy. And so I'm gonna put cozy here. And then I'm gonna pull up a text box one more time. Ooh, it's tiny. Make it really big here, and then this one is going to say season. And again, I'm just going to go ahead, drag it out so it's nice and big, and it's going to go down here. Now we're going to go ahead and pick some fonts. So what I'm looking for something is going to be a little bit more retro style, like this one. So you can either go with more of the groovy fonts, or you can do more of the textured fonts, or if you find a good textured and groovy font, that's going to work really nicely. And so let's just go ahead and go up to our fonts. Now, like I said, lots of different ways you can search this. So I could search for something like retro, and there's lots of cool retro ones that come up, and you can see, you know, some of the more retro style that look good, some of the more, that's a different type of retro style, but that's good. And so you can play with some of these and see what you like. You could also go ahead and do something like textured, grunge, anything that's going to give you more of that rough feeling. So if I was to just put, let's say, texture, I can get some textured fonts coming up here, and so you can play with some of those as well. And so, you know, it takes a while to kind of find the fonts you want. So make sure you look through your fonts, make sure you kind of get an idea of what options there are out there, and you know, kind of become familiar with what works good in which situations. Creative Fabrica also has a bunch of fonts that you can download. Most of the good ones are free, and you can download them and upload them to Canva. Caveat on that, I do have Canva Pro, and I definitely recommend getting Canva Pro if you plan on doing this. It's only like, I want to say like $12.99 a month, which is well worth it because I use pretty much all of the Pro features here, including the ability to upload fonts, and some of these fonts are by themselves considered Pro fonts. So anything that's got that little kind of crown next to it would be by itself just considered a Pro font. Now I do know which font I want, so I'm just going to go ahead and search for that. By name, it was, I want to say Hatter Dirt. Yeah, here it is, Hatter Dirt. And so that's a really fun one here, and it does have a little bit of texture to it, and it is a little bit, it's kind of groovy or fun. It goes with the design. I'm going to go ahead down here where it says change all. I can hit that and it'll change the bottom too. So now I've got cozy season, and that looks fun. What I might do is go ahead and make this all caps up here. So if I click on that, I can come up here where it says uppercase, and it's got the little A and the big A. If you hit that, you can make it all uppercase. And so that's one way to do it. You hit it again, it's going to make it, oops, not the line. Well, you can put a line through it. Hit it again, it'll make it all lowercase. I can also go ahead and, if I wanted to, just capitalize the first letter. Oops, why is it bugging me? And see what cozy looks like there. And so that one looks cool too. So lots of different ways that I could go about doing this. I could also put a different font on the top and a different font on the bottom, which I may still do. So I can play around here a little bit. I like my cozy season there. That looks pretty cool, but let's say I wanted to maybe play with something else. I can go back to sort of that grunge or groovy, or let's go with groovy and see what comes up for groovy. I've got groovy script regular, some little rough stuff there. That's a little bit different. one's cool. But I am, again, looking for something that's a little bit textured, so I may just stick with what I have. Okay. So after playing with the fonts for a while, I've decided to settle on these. So what I have here at the top is Hatter Dirt, and what I have here at the bottom is one called Sacred Bridge Old, and this is one that I have downloaded from Creative Fabrica. And so it gives it a little bit of a contrast, but they're both good and textured. They both look like they go well with the design, so I like that. So right now, really easy, simple design. I just took what I had originally, or the original design, and just changed out the font, and something just like that now makes it look like a little bit more of a unique design. I could, again, change some of these colors. I could change each letter color. I could change the colors at the top. So for example, let's say I wanted to do this like maybe one letter by one letter. So I could take this, and now let's say I wanted to go with maybe some of these other colors in here that look kind of cool, and maybe even some of the colors in the leaves I could go with. So I can use my magic little dropper feature here, hover anywhere over the picture I want to kind of bring that color up. And so these are just easy things that you can do. Not a fan of this white, so let's go ahead and pick another color. And again, I can go with any color that I like off of here. And that kind of brings it a little closer to that. And so there you go. I'm not super fond. This is a really dark orange. Let's see if I can make that orange a little bit lighter. Is it the same as this one? No, there we go. And so that's one way that you can do it, by just changing sort of the colors of every letter. And you know, that looks kind of cool. If I'm gonna do that, I think I might even take the S and make that one a little bit bolder. I'm gonna go with one of the other colors here and see what looks good. So something like that might look good if you're going for that style, or if not, you can just, again, make it all one color. So I can go ahead and change that back. So play with it, find what you like. I could do it up here too. If I was to compare this now to the original one that we downloaded, I can just go over to my uploads. And on my uploads, you can see right here what the original looked like. So this one said Cozy Season, and up top the cozy had different colors, and the bottom the season was in more of a cursive, and it was just all white. And so what we've done is kind of create a different style design, and I went ahead and put It's Cozy instead of just Cozy Season. So it is a little bit different, gives it a totally different style look. Now, of course, we could pop this up with some more flourishes. I could add some more leaves or whatever I wanted to that, but I like it as it is. So I think I'm just gonna stick with it. So really easy design. A lot of times less is more. If you look at some of the top selling shirt designs, a lot of them are really simple. And as you start to create, you know, just remember that sometimes less is more, and adding a whole lot of stuff can make it look a little bit busy or harder to read. Whereas in something like this, especially the retro style, it's going to pop really well on a t-shirt. And so I'm just going to go ahead and download this as is, and I'm going to put It's Cozy Season. And then we're going to download it. So I can go over to Share. I can hit download. It's still a PNG. Now, right now, it's automatically set for the size of 1. That is your 4500 by 5400 pixels. But I did have people asking, and I wanted to say it again just in case you weren't aware. If you wanted to print this on something very large, like a blanket or a bed, you know, a comforter or something really big, you would need something larger than this for it to print in good quality. All you have to do is change the size here, and you can just move it up. And so as you can see, as I move it up, let's say I move it up to, right now it's at like what, 1.625. It is now considered 7,000 something pixels by 8,000 something pixels. And so that is going to make it so that you can print it on very large things. Now, if you're just doing a t-shirt, 4,500 by 5,400 is perfect. You leave that alone as 1. The only time I change that is if I'm printing on something really large, but otherwise, you know, it is fine how it is. You do need it to be a transparent background here. We're going to be able to put it on shirts and other products with different color backgrounds, and so we want our transparent background, and then we just hit download, and it is now ready to go on anything that you would like to put it on. So if you have any questions about this, go ahead, put it in the comment section below. I do try to get back to everybody as quickly as I can. And if you had any video requests in there, like I said, I'm going to try to add them to the list. I do have quite a list going now just because of the season. So I've got a lot of Thanksgiving designs coming up and Christmas designs coming up. But if I can, incorporate your request into those, I definitely will. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are doing really good with your sales. Remember, Q4 is the big one, and it usually starts to ramp up somewhere around October. People tend to do their Christmas shopping early, so they're not going to do all their shopping in December. It's probably going to be more October, November, so you really want to make sure that you've got everything up pretty far in advance, which is why we're working on some of these Thanksgiving designs now that we're going to be doing over the next week or two. Anyways, I hope you guys are doing good, and I hope to see you guys again. That's it for today's video. If you found that useful and would like to see more videos with helpful tips and tricks, be sure to hit like and subscribe and turn on your notifications so you don't miss any of the weekly videos. As always, keep growing and stay creative, and we'll see you next time.